tell you that what you do in school is not important. Pay no attention to it. Principles of school will forever be important. When you get into work, all you have are your sets of theory. So make sure you understand the theory so well that nobody is going to come to you and bully you with things that don't exist. Because the plants that we work on when we are doing factories, the networks that we work on when we are doing telecom, the processes that we work with when we are running a hospital, these things are based on the theory. And you are talking to a person who's been in 16 formal organizations, been an employee of Valco, Ghana Atomic Energy Commission, Pricewaterhouse, KPMG, British American Tobacco, Ghana Breweries Limited, Heineken International in Amsterdam, Office of the President, Tico, Discoverytel, Airtel, MTN, Gimpa, Ashesi, Accra Institute of Technology, Stanbic Bank, and who knows where else. The list never ends. When I work for KPMG, I work for 14 different clients in 15 months. Those clients were Barclays Bank, Standard Chartered, SSB, ICAM, International Finance Corporation. So those were major clients. So if I've not seen anything at all, I've seen the insides of many organizations. And I've seen it work in different continents. I worked in Amsterdam, like I said, for Heineken International. At the time I did projects in France, in the Netherlands, in many jurisdictions. My work took me to Italy, it took me to many places. But when I put together the sum total of what I've seen, I say that the theory is important. And I believe that many of you are going to come out of here and play leadership roles like we have played. But we are getting into a phase where the theory is not just important, the digital economy is very important. And I studied management information systems in 1995-96. I finished that, my undergrad was chemical engineering. But then I did masters in business administration and my concentration was management information systems. But when I finished that, the world was different. At the time we used to do automation projects for companies like Cassel, Portland Cement. And it was more important at the time to generate automatic invoices than it was to imagine things like e-commerce. First time I saw the internet was 1995. At that time when you search Ghana on the internet, there were 5 hits. Ghana.com, the embassy, and a few. There was nothing. Today, we all look back and we see that that era has come and gone. But in the process, our challenge as a nation has been to be able to carry the fundamentals of digital economies from other sides of the world into our environment. And that has not been easy. In the Netherlands, I built a system that was called, that was based on technology from what they call SAP. Some of you know SAP. So the SAP was supposed to replace the packaging system or the logistics system of Heineken Netherlands. But at the time, the brewing and the beer was not a problem. We were going to take care of it with the SAP. But they told me the SAP cannot do the packaging line. Why can it not do the packaging line? Because the packaging line has to dispatch beer from Zoeterwoude Brewery into trucks, then into the Rotterdam harbor. And by automated loading, it needs to go through ships and landing in the United States of America. And there's going to be very minimal human contact through that process. SAP could not do it. This was 2005, 2006, 2006. Are we there now in Ghana? We cannot get there. But that phase of my skill set is also not as relevant in the world today. Today, an SAP consultant is not paid like an SAP consultant 20 years ago. Because the world is moving towards enablers, towards platforms, towards interactions between consumers and suppliers in a digital platform. So those conversations are what we have to challenge ourselves to do. Because the Ghana economy that we see will pass away. Cocoa, gold, and timber, and so on and so forth. Another industry you're going to work in. Unless you are trying to challenge that with some knowledge that you have that are not aware. Are you going to work in cocoa or you work already? Where do you work? Ghana Revenue Authority. Also, hey, over there. You know the song, yeah, yes, but yeah, we talk about the area, especially when you already put your name down. So that's okay. Are you also working? Where? Hey, this class. This big operation on that. The only corporation that can stop selling credit for 3 months and it's not survive. They don't need money. They don't have any use for them. Who else is working? Like workers who don't also do. Where do you work? Sorry? Sunny Edgar. The righteous will never be forsaken. The righteous reveal the secrets of the scripture. Are you a pastor? Does your life speak to the doctrine of the faith? But so yes, back to the meeting. The platforms are the future. And I think that if there has been any time when the books of management might be rewritten, it is now. Because if you look at some of the things that are going on today, you see that we are not talking anymore about free generic strategy. We must do it all together. We are not talking anymore about the 5 forces in isolation, right? Because even in our environment, we have built a platform line. Right? You know what the platform does? This is the name of the platform. When you go on the YouTube channel, you see many videos about it. Those of you who are adventurous enough, can you see what a BRORNO? Brono. You struggle with tree. You struggle with tree. So Brono is a locality. Who else struggles with tree? Where? Tout. Est-ce que tu parles français? Pouvez-vous me signaler le français? Ah. Quand on peut commencer? Maintenant? Ah. Est-ce que tu es prêt? Comment t'appelles-tu? Alberta Costa. Cet nom est ghanéen. Ah. Okay. You people, I don't speak French.
Yeah, we are
also
Anglo.
useless that I can say something. She knows that I don't speak French. You can tell I don't speak French. Yeah, but so under the there's a platform that allows you to sit here, put this in the app, download that. While we're talking, download the app. Those of you who have space on it. It's on Play Store, it's on App Store. It allows you to put this in the app, and it will go down to, when you request it, it will go around to everybody who sells it. And then they'll put their price in, and then you select which vendor that you want. And this is the first class I've said download the app and nobody downloaded it. This class, all of them are residents of Birmingham.
Let me download it.
That's what it's like. Because you talk to them, they don't mind it.
I'm downloading it.
You let the cameraman download it. This guy, for example, has no data. You need a bundle. Okay.
I'll hotspot him, don't worry.
Ask this lady. Now you are shy. You are telling her that you came to work in Mercedes today. So when it responds, then you confirm who you want to buy from, and that becomes the transaction. You pay to the app, and then
Is it this one? Alright.
you pay to the app, and then when the person delivers, you settle. But what I'm saying is that by the time you've done this, you've combined many things. You've combined the nature of our culture, because people trade in open markets. You've combined our digital efficiency variables, because you've taken out a lot of the physical channels. And then you've also combined the stimulation of user satisfaction and utility. So, like I said, there's an element of heritage, there's an element of efficiency, there's an element of innovation, and then there's the utility and satisfaction. You see, this is in one part. And when you have this, you realize that sometimes you are breaching the boundaries of many disciplines. Because to get this utility and efficiency and so on going, normally you are talking to economists. To get some of this innovation and so on properly done, sometimes you are talking to engineers. Then to get this heritage and so on, sometimes you are talking to historians and sociologists. And to get this ecosystem going, you're talking about life. Life is the realm of doctors and so on and so on. Then to get this interaction properly working, you're talking about law. About the sequence of interactions and the governance around it. So the thing we are talking about right now is big. The strategy is no longer within the confines of certain buckets and models. It is something that is big. And the platform economy has specialists too. These are things that, have you heard names like Von Betalamfi before? Von Betalamfi. The economy is difficult. The board markets, they need Von Betalamfi. In 1948 or something like that, this guy was a biology guy, and he invented something they call systems theory. You heard of general systems theory? So he used the models of life to prove that interaction of all elements within a system is the natural order. That we are all dependent in one way or the other. And you see that we all like life. When you laugh, it affects you. Right? When you wail, it affects you. Things that happen around us, sometimes even when a dog gives birth, you appreciate that there's new life being created. So we are a certain interaction that is a certain inanimate thing that you build onto platforms now. And it becomes a certain socialization we call Uber, or we call Netflix, or we call YouTube. And these things we don't have in this Africa. Do we have? This guy is in doubt. You believe that Africa has YouTube? Africa has YouTube. What is it called? No, I know what you mean. We have YouTube content, we have YouTube channels. But I'm saying that we need to create our own platforms.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, in 2013, I moved from my job to become the head of sales and distribution of MTN. 2013. In 2013, you know what happened? Mobile money had 200,000 subscribers. The economy is hard for the markets. 200,000 subscribers. The 9th of April 2021, I handed over mobile money to MTN. And you know how many subscribers I gave them? ECG. What's your name? Linda. I gave them 11.7 million. 200,000. Thank you. You know how many agents they gave me when I took over? I think it was something like 1,000 or so. It's a very sad number. It was not a lot of fun. At the end of 2020, when I was leaving, I think I left them about 220,000. know the transaction value of mobile money this year? 2.3 billion cities, or 2.9 billion cities. You know the transaction value this year? 938 billion. What if we created a platform? You get what I mean? We created an economy. This is more, when you look at this, you add on airtime, so this is more. Add on airtime. You also created 250,000 jobs in airtime. The people under the umbrella, transparent. These were the agents, these were the umbrella people. You take these two together, you don't get, you think it's 470, it's not. But some of them overlap. But even if you make it 350, you know how many jobs there are in Cocoa? 800,000. This number is going up. I left it there. It's going up. We've not added the people who sell insurance, smartphones. Smartphone number, if I tell you, was 0 here. It was 400K, sorry. It was 400K. It was actually less. Over here, giving 12 million. People who sell these things are also in hundreds of thousands. Crypto lane, everywhere you go in this country, people are doing gadgets. And you do SIM cards, you do insurance, you do pensions on the street. Look, innovation just keeps you going. And I'll tell you something else. In 2018, I went to a place called Silicon Valley. You know Silicon Valley? From your beard, I can see. You go to Silicon Valley right now, you know what will happen? Because of your beard, people will say that you are coming to throw a bomb. You are also working with them. But you work with them. Master of which church? Sorry? Love Church.
Love
Economy. Does it use the Bible? Yes. Quote the verse from there. Anyway.
I'm sure because of the economy you are asking. The economy is just a Greek word, and that means a dispensary.
Dispensary. Economy means dispensary in Greek. So, why is your church called Lord?
We are Christ dispensary.
Dispense Christ. Through prescription forms. Through prescription forms. Let me not blaspheme. Anyway, I pointed out to everyone wants to die. And that concept, you agree? Okay. So, Pastor has completely lost me. When I went to Silicon Valley, what I saw was a triangle. So, the triangle. The peak of the triangle was Stanford University. And this base was Sandhill Road, where all the money comes from, venture capital. And over here, you had Google, Facebook, and Amazon, and all this. Amazon is not there. Facebook, Meta, Apple, and the rest. Tesla, and all that. We all have incubators for startup companies, which are funded by these. Then they incubate them, then they work for the big corporates, and the research comes in. Inside of this cloud is the network of California universities, UCLA, Berkeley, University of Southern California. The list goes on and on and on. Anywhere you create this triangle in the world, you know what happens? There's going to be money forever. You have research, incubation, and funding. At this point, the role of government changes into facilitation, enablement. You always need government. You always need government, but not to put money in your pocket. It's to enable things. So you see that we are building something, right? We did something for Ghana. We compared it to what is going on in the world. And now we are evolving into something that is homegrown. This is the next stage. This is the stage for Africa where we also lift ourselves and compare ourselves to some of these things. This is doable, right? It's a simple. No. Class is not very well. I want somebody to tell me, based on what we are discussing, what must we do for Ghana? I'm not here to do no. What must we do for Ghana at KJT? Who knows KJT? Chef, no. Should narrate that. Like that. So let's look at the poverty in Sodom and Gomorrah. You know Sodom and Gomorrah? So if you look at the poverty in Sodom and Gomorrah, and you look at it, you know Adebule? You've heard of Adebule? Look at the poverty in African neighborhoods of that nature. What is going to be the source of hope for those around? Is it a broad? It's still too broad.
I think
It's better. So somebody tell me something. What is it? My daughter tells me there's something called durag and there's something called banana. What's the difference? So this one is what?
This one, bandana.
So anyway, I agree with you that it's a difficult question, but I want to hear your contribution. Has anybody set up, look, has anybody traded before? Who can confess what is on their YouTube channel right now is for sale? On their WhatsApp channel, story right now is for sale. Somebody is selling something on WhatsApp as we speak. Is it you? Nobody. Hey, this is the righteous class. You are selling something. What are you selling?
Oh, I'm into digital marketing.
There you go. So you are communicating it through YouTube, through WhatsApp.
Yes, please.
So what I'm saying is that this WhatsApp channel will go back to the. Look, I don't want to go on record as coming here to say that Porter and so on are irrelevant. So I started by saying that these are the people who I based my knowledge of strategy on. I'm saying that it is evolving into a space where it is coming together. But if you look at what Porter's 5 forces, the barriers to entry, right? Well, there's something about new entrants. What is it about new entrants? You said remember. Has this not disrupted it? Anywhere in the world you go, you have a YouTube story, like a WhatsApp story, and then you an Instagram story. You can put whatever you're selling there. It's going to be very difficult for the GRA to find it. Find it. How will you find it? So you go to his story. What department? Sure. Obey. Okay, but now you have trains. What's the name of the tax system? What directly get me?
We use
Trips.
We move from trips to kittens.
Oh, I see. When did you do this? That trips are just gone live and then you stop. It was there, but it was not. I see. So now you don't have the files in the cupboard anymore. I see. Well, we'll get it. So anyway, my view of the revenue story, let me derail a bit, is we need this. We don't need e-levy. And we need this. If we get that, the economy will lift up. And then it will formalize. Then we'll be fine. So, I mean, unlike most traditional people, I don't bash the area at all. It's a journey. And we're going to get it. we have come from. So you just arrived, right? What's your name? Sorry? Apana? Apana. From Bolton? No. Which part of North? Boli. Boliga. Okay. So you speak British? Frafra. Hey. Do you know how to do guinea fowl? Hey. So later on, you give me your forwarding address. We can meet for some guinea fowl. That's a very good bed to eat. But I think in terms of strategy, we have to bear in mind that strategy is what gives you a helicopter view of the world. So as far as this world is, the empires might be at the pinnacle. When I say the strategy of the empires, what put the Greeks in place? What put the Romans in place? What put the Arabians in place? And you see that the organizational charters we have today is said to be the establishment of Julius Caesar. Because that was the way that he governed. So when you even come to, you know, these are positions in war, right? So the armies were what were guarding the rails of money. And having taken cognizance, we have to bear in mind that for me, this is where it starts. Your heritage. Because we live in a world that probably had many empires, but the ones that I know, based on the limited schooling that I had, were the ones that came from the Greek side. I'm coming close to Pastor. He knows a bit more about empires than I do. From the time of, Mesopotamia and Nebuchadnezzar and these kind of things. But you see that a lot of the scrolls of the Greeks were the basis of a lot of this doctrine, literature, and so on and so forth. These things have to be interpreted. So the Greek civilization is known to be something that was very intellectually intense. It was something that believed in knowledge. But if you look at the Bible, right, you will see that there's some scorn for the Gentiles and the Philistines and so on and so forth. Because it seemed as if they were an empire that was based on money. So that is why they crucified Jesus Christ. Because at the end of the day, they could not deal with the religiosity and ethics and morality and so on. It was all about money. So you see that somewhere in the Bible they say your God is your stomach. And you cannot serve God and mammon. So under those circumstances, you find that there's a certain important genesis that is made when they say that, something Jeremiah said? That the Lord would write His word upon your heart. Okay, so that it was doing away with the set of tablets, and now coming into your body. Right? And look, I'm not being religiously insensitive, right? But what I'm talking about applies. When I was in the Ghana Atomic Energy Commission, I worked with 46 Chinese, and they gave me a book about Tao, the Chinese code. And Tao. That's right.
Hey.
And you saw that what they were saying was that all goodness of the earth was enshrined in Tao. And everything good was the supreme being. Now you'll find that the Christianity is saying that in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. So you see that this goodness is at the pinnacle of Christianity. But our Lord says that I'm the way, the truth, and the life. You cannot just subscribe to the goodness. Right? You have to also believe that He's leading you there. But you find, I went to a course in The Hague in 1995, and there were some people working on a project they called the global ethos, where they wanted to average out religion. So if all religions say we must not kill, then let's take that as one of the generic laws of religion. And once we find the 10 generic laws of religion, then we unite our religions. And you saw that project never came to pass. Right? But it is something that lives in you. You cannot express it in terms of averages and numbers and so on and so forth. But so this is the Roman Empire. I think that somewhere at the close of the Roman Empire period, the Ottomans and the Persians and so on also became very great. And then the Arabians came. But very little is said about the Arabians. When Professor Dubois was presenting in Oxford, there was a man called Trevor Roper who tried to say that the history of Africa is the history of the Europeans in Africa. And then Dubois said, you cannot be serious, because they are Arabian scrolls that he had interpreted to write the history. So you cannot say that. But if you look at the history of Africa, you find that there was a lot of empires in old Ghana, Kumbi Saleh, Western Sudan, Songhai, and so on and so forth, which were very closely linked to the Arabian Empire. And it is out of that J.B. Dankwa wrote that we had our origins for, the eventual creation of the nation of Ghana. But of course, there are different versions of that history, because it is believed that the Guan were the first that arrived in Ghana. Mm-hmm. So when you go to places like Bonja, or you go to, the Oti region, these are the early empires of Ghana. And then, of course, you have the era of the Dintra, then Akwamufie, and, so it is out of this. I'm a salesman. I don't necessarily have any allegiance to any particular part of the country, because I sold everywhere. Anybody know of a sound engineer they call Pietus?
Yeah.
The classic production of the man in the mix, Pietus. What he said was that on TV they asked him who's the greatest rapper in this country. And there was another guy there who was also sound engineer called Hammer or something. And Hammer said, oh, Bravo. And Pietus said, I'm a businessman. I use sound for all of them. I will never tell you on this TV who I think is the best. And I don't want to. So I'm a businessman, right? But my people are from Ashanti. That is an acknowledgement. But you find that the Dentra say that Osetutu escaped as a slave from Dentra and then created a nation of Ashanti under that thing. That is the version that they have. Right? Ashanti also say they came from the ground, but I don't know. But under the circumstances, these nations were created. So this is the heritage out. I believe that when you go to America, the only person who has ever taken on Universal Studios was Michael Jackson. The only one who was able to say, even if I have a contract with you, damn it, I'm breaking it. And every concert that I start, I'll tell people how bad you are. But then Universal agreed that they will revoke the contract. Michael Jackson was bigger than them. But then Michael Jackson died. Very strange death. Which tells you that is the genesis of what I'm saying, that the multinational corporation, you have to be very careful when you're dealing with it. I have dealt with it more than many people my age. When I was in Heineken, I sat next door to Jean-Francois Van Boxmeer, Chief Executive of Heineken International. He just retired and became Global Chairman of Vodafone Worldwide. And when you sit by Van Boxmeer, you know exactly how the multinational is working. Because sometimes in the morning you see people from Angola barefoot coming with a cloth around their waist coming to see him. But in the evening you see him on TV and he's with the King of Austria. He's buying breweries. So these are people who discarded the wealth. That is why David Livingstone and so on came to Africa, Christopher Columbus and all these guys are moving in all sorts of dangerous places. Because the multinational corporation, when it took the loot of the Roman Empire, created something that cannot be defeated very easily. You know that there was a war, there were some wars they called the Crusades, in the 13th century thereabout. And those wars created the multinational corporations and the banks. Because they looted the holy places of the Middle East. In those days, wealth was worshipped. But they took it out, and then they shared it and they spent it. So when you see Karl Marx writing that by individual they mean no other person than the bourgeoisie who must be swept out of the way, that was the bitterness in him. Because he felt that a certain good group of people had come into the world who were trying to dominate the world with money. The church was defeated in Europe. Because you see that when I worked in Holland, the churches were museums. Because at that time it was the Catholic Church that was believed to have backed those who looted the holy places. And it was believed then that the church must be defeated. And despite the emergence of the Lutherans and all of that, today Europe is one of the most irreligious parts of the world. And a lot of them believe that, in fact, when they formed the hippie movements in the 1960s and so on, It was to entrench that part that they don't want to have anything to do with the legacy of religion anymore. So these things have happened in a very bitter way. But now what have I learned? As you see, I've worked for the multinational corporation, I've worked for my own entrepreneurship stuff, I've worked for the universities, I've worked for the, because I'm a believer also that myself, I can deal with the best part of everything and create something that is good. So I don't shudder when I have to face these things. I've been through Tunfu Asante. I remember that when we got there, Abehini took a microphone and he said, whoa, 20,000 cities now to Beche Measure Palace. I was going there on behalf of my employer. How can I on my own donate to Measure Palace? But at that time I said, Nana, Bachem, Wadao, that's it, bread. There's a way you get around these things. When you go, they forgive you. They say, this boy knows how to wash his hands. But you know what I did after that? I took Wi-Fi to the Measure Palace. When we were doing the Wi-Fi, my friend Abdul Nasser, who is the engineer in charge, he called me and he said, I cannot do this Wi-Fi. And I said, why? He said, the cables I brought to the palace I cannot use because there's a guy standing in front of me right now telling me that if I don't let him use his own cables, he will stop the project. So I said, Abdul, take the afternoon off. And when he took the afternoon off, I called my friend, Adra Brown. I said, Adra, I don't hear anything. That's gotten to the part that is difficult. That's what I said. And then she said, okay, leave it to me. So she sent somebody to measure. I called that guy. I said, what do you want? The guy said, 2K. These matters are something else. But that was what was going on. And then I said, okay, I'll give you 20 cities. And the guy took it. And we did our project.
20.
We are hard bargainers. It was either 20 or 200. I don't remember that. We divided it by either 10 or 100. You hear the IBM. It's different. When you are doing projects, do you know the Oni of Ife? You don't know the Oni of Ife. But you know the Emir of Kano. You have not even heard of Osman Damfude. So you know the Sultan of Sokoto. I mean, I'm not saying you know them personally. I'm saying that you've heard of these thrones. So what we are talking about is that it will be of Onisha, and so on and so forth. These things, you don't mess with them, right? Because they are thousands of years old or something. So you deal with them. Does not mean that you've succumbed to them. You've dealt with them. So the heritage for me is the beginning. When you have heritage, you can innovate. Because what you are creating is even more, where is it? What is the thing I created? This one. This one is even more confusing for people who are uninitiated because it is based on Ghana. It is based on the Ghana Union of Traders Associations and the things they told. When I go, they have 68 unions. Some of the unions have the same name. You are not there to do reconciliation. It's not, you are not an accountant. Just come and build a partnership that will work. So, strategy is the thrust of what I'm saying. That you have to get to your vision. That is what strategy is about. It is the realization of your vision by means of combination of systems and resources and processes and culture. That is what strategy is about. And if you are not going to get that far, you are going to need tools that are going to take you. And look, when I was in Gimba teaching, Frankie Menu told me that strategy will never have a text. It will never have an exam. It is about cases. That's why I started by asking you, what must Ghana do? Write the Ghana case. Write the Regent University case. Write the case of the church. You know, it interests me very much that we are slipping in the same way in Ghana. The church is afraid of the fetish. The church is afraid of the government. When I was a child,